COVID-19 pandemic has brought unprecedented changes to our usual ways of living. But the Department of Education remains unfazed by these challenges to fulfill the mission of Sulong Edukalidad, the rallying call for national effort to deliver quality basic education to all Filipinos, which involve aggressive reforms in the 4 key areas: the K-12 curriculum review and update, improving the learning environment, teachers upskilling and reskilling, and engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration to move forward together as we prepare the education system for the future. The call for Sulong Edukalidad will continue, and we have built the framework of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, or the BELCP, to put the needs of the learners at top priority. DepEd's BELCP is the major response and commitment to protect the health, safety, and well-being of learners, teachers, and personnel. The plan aims to provide opportunities to continue education even in these trying times with a BELCP in place, supported by an unprecedented number of diverse stakeholders from the academe, media, industry groups, NGOs, business and private individuals. Sulong Edukalidad will be able to sustain the aims in its reform for quality basic education. In our journey towards quality education, we have established the 4 pillars of aggressive reforms from the start, and we have been continuing to progress in these pillars. In improving the learning environment, we took action in the construction and rehabilitation of school buildings, ensured the availability of learning materials and equipment, and prioritized our last-mile schools. The challenges of the pandemic also brought to light the urgent need to upgrade our ICT infrastructure to service the needs of education. In terms of the teachers upskilling and reskilling, we were able to establish more innovative professional standards for teachers and school heads. We have aligned the professional development of teachers with their career progression to track their National Educators Academy of the Philippines transformation. With the launch of the Education Futures program, where we will be focusing on innovative actions and solutions to improve the state of our education, we are now more than ready to start a new journey and continue our fight for quality education for all Filipino learners. Finally, we've given high importance to the engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration. In support of this, we have convened the Philippine Forum for Accessible Quality Basic Education, or the Education Forum, which will leverage other partnerships for education quality and strengthen partnership with the Philippine Normal University as the country's national center for teacher education. The department has also been developing a professional development program for teachers and school leaders in order to equip them with the skills, materials, and data that will allow them to help their students prepare for PISA 2022. This intervention consists of the following components: online training for teachers and school leaders, development of learning materials and practice tests for students, deepening the analysis of the PISA 2018 results, and supporting school-level action research. Now that the year is about to end, our commitment to Sulong Edukalidad will continue and will be far from being gone. With a lot at stake, considering our new knowledge and experience from this year's challenges, we are equipped to face a new future. As we head on to the future where we will face many challenges and uncertainties, the department will always be the guardian of every Filipino learner's right to education.
Sino ba ang hindi naapektuhan? Sino ba ang hindi nag-alala? Sino ba ang hindi nalito? Lahat tayo ay naapektuhan. Lahat tayo ay nag-aalala. Lahat tayo ay nalito. Dahil binago ng pandemyang dulot ng COVID-19, ang paraan ng pamumuhay ng lahat ng mga Pilipino saan mang sektor ka nabibilang. Tumigil ang panandalian ang ating mga nakagawian. Tumigil ang lahat ng uri ng transaksyon. Tumigil ang lahat ng operasyon ng mga paaralan. Nakalilito. Nakakaba. Paano na ang kinabukasan ng mga kabataan? Paano na tayo sa hinaharap? Opisyal na nilulunsad ng Kagawaran ng Edukasyon sa pangunguna ng Office of the Undersecretary for Curriculum and Instruction ang DepEd Teaches. Ito ay isang online na programa na gagabay sa mga guro, tagapangasiwa, magulang at mag-aaral hinggil sa mga pagbabago sa batayang edukasyon ngayong new normal. Ang DepEd Teaches ay angkla sa sulong edukalidad na nakatuon sa apat na pangunahing pangangailangan ng mapunyaging reforma tungo sa makalidad na pagtuturo at pagkatuto. Una, pagre-review at pagsasapanahon ng kurikulum ng K-12. Ikalawa, pagpapaunlad ng kapaligiran pampagkatuto. Ikatlo, paglinang ng mga bagong kasanayan sa mga guro. At ang ikaapat, ang pakikipag-ugnay sa mga stakeholder para sa suporta at kolaborasyon. Sa pamamagitan ng virtual learning platform, ang DepEd Teaches ang magsisilbing bukas na komunidad ng pagsasanay na titipon sa mga guro, tagapamunong pang-edukasyon at sa sinumang may pagnanais sa pagtataguyod ng kalidad na edukasyon sa bansa at sa pagtagumpay ng bawat Pilipinong mag-aaral. Ang mga opisyal, education specialist, learning content expert at outstanding teacher ng DepEd ang magiging tagapanayam na magbabahagi ng kanilang kaalaman at kasanayan sa kurikulum, pagtuturo at pagkatuto, pagtataya at lahat ng kaugnay na mahalaga sa proseso ng pagtuturo at pagkatuto sa new normal. Bilang mga frontliner ng classroom, inaasahang magiging aktibo ang mga guro sa programang ito. Ang mga tema at paksa ay angkop sa kanilang pangangailangan at konteksto sa pamamagitan ng accessible na platform, ang social media. Sumali na sa OUCI family sa DepEd Teaches, kung sama-sama mapahuhusay pa ang mga guro, kung sama-sama higit na malilinang natin ang mga mag-aaral.
Achieving success and the willingness to continue success must be greater than the fear in the face of failure. Let's achieve a dream in September, and that is made possible here in DepEd Teaches. As the Burr months commences, may our days be filled with hope, sunshine, and energy to pursue our ultimate goal, and that is none other than to continue delivering quality basic education. Heartfelt gratitude to all our thousands of viewers of DepEd Teaches and the rest of those who are tuning in via simulcast broadcast in other social media platforms, namely DepEd Philippines Facebook page, DepEd Tayo, and DepEd YouTube channel. As more episodes are added in our DepEd Teaches community, the more thrilled we are and inspired to offer you a one-of-a-kind professional learning experience. So for this month of September, let's find out what will keep us busy for every Thursday of September edition. Good afternoon, Ma'am Ana. So what's stored for us this today?
Hello, Sir July, and to all our avid loyal viewers of DepEd Teaches. Also, I'd like to welcome you all in September. I agree with you, Sir July. Sure, this new month gives us new hope and dream to get the best for all. So before we delve into our topic, I just want to give a gentle reminder to all our viewers to finish every episode so you will get the registration link and accomplish the evaluation. You need this too for you to receive your certificates of appearance and participation. I noticed, Sir July, because we received some email asking about the certificate. So again, to our viewers, make sure you stay with us and finish the entire episode to catch on the instructions, and just give us a little time to send your certificates once you've successfully fulfilled these two requirements. Again, registration and getting a passing score in the evaluation. So now let's get down to our main business. So going back to your question, since last month we started talking about hindsight, insight, and foresight. And we've learned so much about the latest plans and programs related to our curriculum, learning delivery, and assessment. And for this month, the same theme will be adopted because there are other equally important areas that we want to find out in terms of the challenges they've experienced since last year, the opportunities they've discovered, and the learnings they've gained that guide them in creating new plans and programs for this school year. So, Sir July, other than the curriculum, delivery, and assessment, what do you think are other major areas in teaching and learning that our teachers should be concerned with?
Well, Ma'am Ana, we are also having the learning resources. We also have the alternative learning system, the indigenous people's education, and of course, the teachers' training and development. So these are significant discussions that we will offer this month of September. And I'm really excited to listen to our stories of our resource persons, of their hard work and success since the onset of this pandemic.
Sounds exciting, Sir July. And today, we will talk about the second most important resource that our students need, the learning resources or the materials. Now, you might wonder why we say second, because I still believe, and perhaps the rest of you will agree, that teachers' knowledge and skills remain to be the most valuable resource. And to help teachers execute quality instruction, of course, we need these resources, especially in distance learning delivery modalities, where these learning resources seem like a bridge that connects the teacher and the students. So in today's episode, we will have a better understanding on our experiences since last year when we've started using the self-learning modules and how these experiences have helped us and guided us to craft strategic plans, actions, and policies that will improve the process of developing, printing, and distributing our learning resources in this new normal.
And to add to that, we are also blessed that our resource speaker today is a well-versed and well-experienced person in terms of learning resources development in the central office. And she will be delivering a meaningful presentation entitled Hindsight, Insight, and Foresight, Lessons and Ways Forward in Providing Learning Resources in the New Normal. But before we continue, just to spice up things, let's play a fun brain teaser. This time, guess the title of the film from a set of emojis. As usual, we have prepared 4 questions or items. Then guess the title of the movie based on the pictures. And for a clue, the title has something to do with materials or readings. We encourage you, our dear viewers, to join us in this short game. But no worries, this is just for fun, and we will be doing this while we are waiting for others to join us. So Ma'am Anna, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Sir July. So let's begin. Please show question number 1. Okay, try to guess the title of the movie. You have 30 seconds. I wonder if our viewers are familiar with this movie. For those in 90s, okay, this is a classical Disney movie. I love this movie. Okay. So now let's reveal the answer. Okay. So the title of the movie is Page Master. So this is kind of nostalgic, Sir July. This is one of my all-time favorite Disney movies, just like what I said. This was shown way back in 90s. And I just love the story, action, animation, and the adventure as the main character has to work through obstacles from classic books to return to real life. So you see the scared emoji, adventure, that pirate emoji and fairy emoji that pertains to fantasy book. So these are the different genres we find in books, and we all know that as teachers, we must be wide readers. Okay? Right. So what about the second movie? Let's see if you're familiar with this.
I hope our viewers are also Disney film fanatics like you, Ma'am Anna, and probably those who are familiar with this really got this item correctly. And now for our second item, let us show them the card. From the set of emojis, try to guess the title of the film about learning or reading material, and these emojis depict. Okay, 30 seconds start now. All right, I think let's reveal the answer now. So the correct answer to this item is Book Thief. So this is another good movie that shows how books can be comforting. Like what happened to this young brave girl in this movie who finds solace from the horror around her during the time of Nazi by stealing books, and she can learn new words. To relate with these happenings right now, it would be great if we inspire and encourage our learners to read books for enjoyment. After all, books are like companions, especially now that we are having less face-to-face interaction. And reading while at home could be such a wonderful experience to our learners.
I couldn't agree more, Sir July. That's an interesting movie. I think I will add that to my bucket list. Okay, so now for the third movie, I guess this one is more popular, and I'm pretty sure a lot of our viewers will be able to figure out this third question. Okay, let's show now the third picture. Okay, so let's find out what's the correct answer. The Notebook. So this is another blockbuster movie about Noah and Ali, two lovers separated by fate, but eventually they got reunited. But more than that great love story, there is a diary that Ali writes, which tells the story Noah reads every day to his wife Ali to keep the memories of their love alive. So you can see in this movie the power of reading and writing are shown in this movie as to how we communicate our feelings when we write and read to others. For our students, I guess writing diary or journal is a good reflective practice, especially this time that we can encourage and promote to our learners.
That was indeed a blockbuster movie, Ma'am Anna. I remember I watched that movie way back in my college days. And now, for our fourth and last puzzle this afternoon, let us show them the item. All right, let's reveal the answer now. So the correct answer from these emojis is the Jungle Book. Okay, in this movie, Mowgli is a young boy who has been raised by wolves, aided by his friends, the bear and the panther. This is another classical movie that teaches us many lessons, like not being coward, thinking smart, facing fear, and helping others. And we can relate these lessons as to how we should be dealing with the pandemic. Just like Mowgli trying to survive and live peacefully, everyone's goal right now is similar to that. So for me, this is another must-watch movie. Okay, if you have noticed, the common word in our puzzles as the title of the movie is the word book. And we know books are the primary learning resources that we have now. But as we see the progress in our education landscape, we see more of these books used being self-learning modules and other materials like the learning activity sheets, among others. And as we all know how important the self-learning modules as learning resource and as part of the basic education continuity plan. And so, without further ado, let us now meet our resource person to enlighten us on what happened and what will happen in this year in terms of our learning resources.
We proudly introduce to you our resource speaker today, Chief Daisy Asuncion Ochoa Santos. She obtained her master's in government management at Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila, and in 2015 she finished master's in evaluation and assessment at Curtin University, Australia. She was very active in campus journalism of her alma mater when she became the managing editor of the Philippine Artisan campus school organ of the Technological University of the Philippines. She was also a contributing editor and eventually became an acting editor-in-chief of the Spectrum, supplement to the TBS newsletter of the Textbook Board Secretariat.
Also, Chief Daisy Asuncion Ochoa Santos became a content and copy editor of different instructional materials published by the Instructional Materials Development Center. And since 1987, she has been invited as a resource speaker and lecturer in international and local conferences, training, seminars, and workshops on quality assurance of learning resources, book publishing, and development of educational materials. In 2004, she was awarded with special citation during the search of DepEd Outstanding Employee. Aside from being a recipient of Australia Awards Scholarship, she was also granted a fellowship for textbook specialists of the Philippines conducted by the Center of Information on Korean Culture in 2005. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Chief Education Program Specialist of the Bureau of Learning Resources Quality Assurance Division, none other than Chief Daisy Asuncion Ochoa Santos.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for inviting me to this episode of DepEd Teaches, where I will share with you the experience of the Bureau of Learning Resources in terms of the provision of our self-learning modules during the pandemic times. So the title of my presentation for this afternoon is Hindsight, Insights, and Foresight. Lessons and ways forward in providing LRs in the new normal. Before I dwell on this slide, allow me first to give a definition of what hindsight means. Sabi ni Merriam-Webster, ang hindsight daw is a perception of the nature of an event after it has happened. We all know that the school year 2020-2021 has just ended. And I think this is the best time for us to look back, to look at what happened the last year, because we all know that the current pandemic situation brought by the COVID-19 has really compelled the department to be more innovative and resourceful in providing quality, accessible, relevant, and liberating basic education, resulting in the use of our self-learning modules as the primary tool in the distance learning modality. So yun namang pandemya, hindi lang naman dito sa Pilipinas, all over the world yan. So lahat tayo nagulantang, di ba, sa doon sa changes, major changes in the field of education brought about by COVID pandemic. And one of that is the use of SLMs as a basic tool. So next slide, please. So before we delve on the hindsights, allow me first to give a review on the definition of what an SLM is. So an SLM is the primary learning resource for distance learning. So self-contained, self-instructional, and compact. Bakit siya interactive? Why do we say it's interactive? The way that the SLM is designed is it's as if it's talking to the learner. Siya yung nag-a-act as the teacher of the learner. Why is it self-contained? Self-contained siya dahil the SLM covers a specific learning competency, yung most essential learning competency, which I understand generally is intended, yung SLM is generally intended to be used for one whole week para ma-cover ang at least one MELC. It is self-instructional. Kumpleto po ang sangkap ng isang SLM. from developing the concept, assessment, evaluation, may pre-test, may post-test, so self-instructional. Hindi kinakailangan ng teacher ng bata while using the SLM. And it is compact. Compact because as differentiated from the textbook, the SLM has only at least 36 pages maximum as compared to our average textbook that has at least mga 200 pages. So yun. Ang SLM, meron din siyang learning time frame suggested by you, the teachers, following the DepEd policy. So kayo po yung nagsiset kung gaano katagal ba gagamitin yung SLMs because you know the nature of the learners under your care. Tapos, it's developed primarily for use of learners outside the classroom. And when classes are disrupted, that would limit face-to-face transaction between the learners and the teachers. Konting backgrounder lang, if you remember po, in 2018, the OUCI, led by then USEC Lorna Dino, we had a Congress, Education Congress in Baguio in 2018. And at the end of that 3-day Congress in December, USEC Dino assigned the regions to develop ADM modules para dun sa, yun nga, specifically para for situations when face-to-face classes cannot be conducted. Yun yung original purpose nung modules natin. Mabuti na lang, meron tayong ganon kasi the ADM modules is the, what will I call it, is the precursor or the working draft used for making the SLMs that we used last school year. So meron na kayong mga ginawa in your the respective field, regional offices and division offices na ADM modules, and these were the ones that were converted into what we call the SLMs para i-address yung crisis doon sa learning. Kaya yung SLMs natin, they are not intended only for pandemic times. Their original purpose is for as an alternative delivery mode kapag may baha, mayroong earthquake, man-made learners cannot go to the classrooms, they will have materials and learning can still continue. Yun po yun po yung SLMs natin. Okay, so next slide please. Okay, so ano pa yung hindsight natin doon sa development and development of the learning, self-learning modules? Lumabas na ang daming innovative strategies were adopted by the field offices and schools to ensure that the SLMs reach the learners and that learning will continue. Hindi ko na kinakailangan i-elaborate. I know that if you look back at what happened last year, in your own respective schools, divisions, and regions, iba-ibang strategiya ang ginamit para lang masigurado na maabot sa mga bata, nasa kamay ng mga bata yung SLMs when they need it most. So, innovation really became very prevalent to make sure that the SLMs reach the hands of our learners. So yun, it was challenging but we were able to make it. So congratulations sa atin for doing that. Next slide please. Yes, pa rin. As we look back now, alam ko sa inyo, sa mga teachers natin, talagang nahirapan tayo provide specifically the quarter 1 and 2 modules. Pero nakikita kong root cause talaga nung mga challenges natin in provision of the SLMs are the quarantine restrictions, di ba? Paiba-iba siya, ECQ, MECQ, ano pa ba? Ano pa ba yung mga CQ? Yung mga quarantine restrictions na yan, limited our movement. Hindi tayo makapag-meet, makapag-workshop para ma-fast track yung pagsulat, pag-quality assure, pag-print, and pag-deliver ng mga materials. We had really to follow, implement health protocols, and skeletal workforce was imposed upon us because siyempre ayaw naman natin na maapektuhan yung ating mga kalusugan in our desire for learning to continue. Let's remember that during the start of the school year last October, wala pang mga vaccines noon. So all of us were vulnerable to COVID-19. Kaya medyo nahirapan talaga tayo mag-provide ng SLMs. But I know that local initiatives were done so that there will be materials used during the start of the school year. I know that many of the schools and the divisions prepared worksheets, learning activity sheets, and the textbooks were also there available for distribution to our learners so that learning will continue even if the students or the pupils are at home. So yun yung mga challenges natin. Okay, next slide please. So yun yung hindsight natin. If you look back at what happened, yun yung mga pinagdaanan natin na we survived. Yes, congratulations. Ito naman yung mga insights. Again, I will try to define what insights are. Sabi ni Webster, ang insight daw is the power or the act of seeing into a situation. So it's seeing things intuitively. And I know that during the last school year, the school year that happened, just ended, marami tayong na insights na nag-gather. And these are the some of the insights that we at BLR, and I'm sure you will agree with most of these insights, these are what we gathered. First of all, conduct of virtual meetings and capability building webinars ensured availability of the essential LRs. Diba? Ngayon, kahit hanggang ngayon, diba? Right now, we're in a virtual webinar. And virtual meetings are the thing, no? In spite of many challenges like internet connectivity, kinakailangan natin ng magkita-kita, mag-usap-usap. So natuto tayo, napilitan tayo matuto ng mga iba't ibang ng technology, no? Using MS Teams, Google, Zoom, so that we will be able to conduct meetings and interact and plan, strategize with each other. And then, sa BLR, we found that it was important to give capability building webinars para naman masigurado na doon sa division where I belong, the Quality Assurance Division, we really provided orientation webinars for our learning resource evaluators who became members of the quality assurance teams to make sure that they are well informed of the tasks that they are assigned to and they will perform it well. So capability building webinars, alam ko ginawa rin yan sa regions and divisions, maybe not only for the provision of SLRs, but also for the many other concerns regarding education. So yun, importante talaga. And until now, our academic school year, I'm sure we'll still be conducting virtual meetings and capability building webinars so that we will ensure that quality education will continue. So yan yung first insight namin. Next slide, please. Okay. So, one of the measures to address the challenge is sa central office is we saw the need to invest on and accept donations of gadgets to alleviate the need for printed LRs. If you have listened to the talks of Secretary Liling Briones, and in some of the meetings where I was able to listen to her, one of her concerns is also yung protecting our environment. And ang sabi niya, kung parating printed SLMs or learning resources ang gagamitin natin, just imagine how many trees will be cut down in order to provide the print SLMs. So ngayon, we are investing more on gadgets para mabawasan yung ating dependence on printed learning resources. And there are many agencies who are willing to donate gadgets, LGUs na medyo mayaman, external stakeholders who want to really help in education. There are a lot of them who are willing to help us. And the use of these gadgets, whether they be tablets, desktops, laptops, or ewan ko kung nagbibigay rin ng mga mobile phones, will help lessen the need for our printed SLMs. Next slide, please. Okay, ito, importante ito, and I think this is still going to be important. Collaboration and coordination with our colleagues in the central office, sa field offices, and our willing external stakeholders is a crucial key to success of the distance learning modality. So dito sa central office, ay nako, really we need to collaborate, lalo na sa CI strand. BLR cannot operate without the help of our specialists from BCD and BLD in vetting the quality of the SLMs. Sa field offices, kinakailangan din ng constant collaboration and coordination sa reproduction, printing, delivery. I'm sure maraming strategic planning meetings ang ginanap. And then, also, yung willing external stakeholders natin, tinatanong nila, how can we help you? We really want to help DepEd. And we welcome our collaboration and coordination with them to make sure that the success of our distance learning modality will happen. So next slide, please. Okay. So another insight is we really need to adapt to the what's so-called new normal. Ano yung new normal natin? Iyan nga, cannot do face-to-face. Lalo na ngayon, balak na sanang ipilot ng departamento, pero dahil merong Delta variant at merong mga lumalabas pang mutations ng COVID, we really cannot do that. So different modalities and platforms to ensure that quality learning will continue are exploited, utilized, and implemented. And we hope that we will still, as teachers, we will still continue exploiting, exploring, utilizing, and implementing the use of these different platforms. So I know that you're already familiar with the LR portal, and I hope that our teachers are using this because the content of the LR portal are DepEd quality assured materials. There's also the DepEd Commons, the quick response that was provided at the central office para para merong mga magagamit yung mga bata, especially since the lockdown started March when patapos na yung quarter 4, di po ba? So yung DepEd Commons was really a very quick and handy response so that learners will not stop learning in spite of the lockdowns that happen. And then, meron pa rin tayo yung na dinidevelop, or I'm not sure if this is already running, yung ating LMS, diba? So, yun yung mga platforms and modalities na ine-explore natin to make it easier for teachers to teach and for learners to still be motivated to learn. Let us now go to the foresights. Allow me first to define again what foresight means. According to Merriam-Webster, foresight is an act or power of looking forward, a view forward. So we have already learned a lot of lessons in the past academic school year. And because of the lessons learned, siyempre we want to improve on how we will deliver education during these pandemic times. So ano po yung mga ginagawa natin sa BLR or sa central office? Nag-issue na po tayo ng DepEd Memorandum stating that all of the quarter 1 and 2 SLMs will undergo another round of quality assurance, review, and layouting to ensure that the SLMs will be free from errors, intellectual property concerns, and other issues so that we will maximize the use of the said materials for the coming years. As I mentioned earlier, the SLMs will not be used only during the pandemic times, but these are also ADM materials that can be used in other situations where learners cannot report to the classroom. Okay? So yun po, meron na po tayo niyan. I'm sure that the LR supervisors at the field, regions and the divisions, and those who develop the materials are right now busy quality assuring your quarter 1 and 2 SLMs to make sure that they are error-free. Okay? Are you familiar with Error Watch? Yung Error Watch po ay isa doon sa response natin to monitor the quality of the learning resources. Not only, itong Error Watch sa akin, hindi lang to dapat pang SLMs eh. Although the initiative was a response to reports about errors found in the learning materials. So yung task po ng Error Watch team natin sa central office is to receive and to collate reports of errors and to forward this to the appropriate officers for validation and correction. So sino po ba sa ngayon po ang namumuno dito sa central office dito sa Error Watch? Yung Bureau of Learning Delivery. So if you will look at the poster or the image there, andyan po yung yung mga contact numbers. If you see errors po, my dear teachers and those who are participating in this call, i-report po natin sa proper authorities. Huwag natin pong ipopost na lang sa social media, ibabash natin yung ating ang departamento natin. We belong to one family. We want to help one another constructively. So, kung may nakikita kayong errors, please report them to the proper authorities. So, andyan po yung mga contact numbers. Merong sa Viber, merong sa Facebook, merong email address, and may sistema na po nag-establish for Error Watch so that we will be able to validate where the errors come from. Ginagamit ba yan sa public schools? Yun lang lalo although binabantayan din natin yung sa private schools, mas binabantayan natin yung sa public schools kasi ginamitan niya ng taxpayers' money. Ayaw natin na mapagalitan tayo, no, so to speak, ng mga taxpayers and other interested parties that we are remiss in providing quality education through the basic inputs in the distance learning modality that we are doing right now, yung SLMs natin. By the way, in the distance learning modality, hindi lang po SLMs ang, although it's the primary learning resource, the textbooks are also useful and can be distributed to our learners even when they're learning at home. Wag po nating sayangin yung mga textbooks kasi pwede yung gamitin as, sa ngayon, reference siya. Sa normal time, by normal, ibig sabihin ko yung face-to-face classroom, basic tool natin or basic material natin yung textbook. Ngayon, dahil tayo'y distance learning modality, SLM, pero pwedeng support material yung textbooks, yung learning area, learning activity sheets, worksheets na ginagawa nyo. So yun po, just a reminder na gagamitin din po natin yun. But back to yung error watch and my reminder po sa ating lahat. Kung meron po kayong nakikitang mali, wag pong mag-atubili na kontakin ang mga numbers at saka yung mga nandito po sa poster natin so that we will be able to address the errors. And if they are valid, ang ginagawa po natin, nagbibigay po tayo ng errata so that this will be corrected. And I'm sure that our LR supervisors who are doing the second round of quality assurance of the quarter 1 and 2 SLMs will already incorporate the validated errors found by the error watch. So yun, inaasahan po natin na kung magre-reprint po ng mga SLMs or gagamitin yan using our tablets, our desktops, laptops, or mobile devices, yung corrected version na ang papagamit. Next slide, please. Okay. Itong slide po na ito ay may kinalaman doon sa pag-iimbentaryo. So, ng mga learning resources. Sabi natin, the SLMs should be useful for not only for one academic year sana. So, at paano natin magagawa yon? Importante po na na yung SLMs tulad po ng kahit na anong public property ay isama po natin sa LR inventory ng mga eskwela. Okay? So this should be properly documented when released by the property custodian po, di ba? O ang nag-re-release nito, school property custodian. It should be immediately retrieved from learners after it is used. Wag po nating itenga sa mga bata yung mga SLMs kasi maaaring i-rotate yan, papagamit naman sa mga ibang bata kung kulang yung mga SLMs na naibigay natin. And then it should also be stored properly para maiwasan naman pong masira sila at para magamit pa sila in the future. Then yung next po nating reminder is if for example talagang hindi na magagamit yung ating mga SLMs for the next school year, meron pong proper way of disposing our SLMs. We should follow the guidelines in accordance with the DepEd Property Manual. Hindi po pwedeng basta lang itatapon yan sa basura or susunugin. Meron pong tamang pamamaraan ng pag-dispose ng mga learning resources natin. Not only SLMs, pati po yung mga materials na pwede nang i-condemn. Meron pong kinakailangan po sumusunod tayo doon sa guidelines as provided in the DepEd Property Manual. And then the next one, which is also important, I think, for our teachers to know. In case of the loss of the SLM by a learner, no amount should be collected in observance of the DepEd no collection policy. But parents must submit a letter to the teacher as to the reason for the loss. I know that this is even during the pre-pandemic times, isa to sa mga issues ng mga teacher, natatakot sila na baka mawawala yung mga materials na ini-issue sa mga bata. Pero meron tayong no collection policy. So, hingan lang po yung mga magulang ng or guardian, kung sino po yung nangangasiwa doon sa pag-aaral ng bata, ng sulat kung bakit nawala. And that is enough to be submitted to the proper authority. I guess that's going to be the school property custodian or the supply officer maybe in the division, so that they will know kung ilan yung mga nawala. Importante pong datos ito kasi kung binabalak pong mag-print o reprint ng division or ng region, malalaman nila kung ilan na yung hindi na nawala ng mga materials, so that they will be able to plan properly on how many more materials will be needed. So yun po. Ito pong basihan po nitong mga paalala natin to ay yung DepEd Order number 14, Series of 2012, and DepEd Order number 42, Series of 2018. Next slide, please. Okay. So sabi natin, kinakailangan alagaan ng mga bata ang kanilang mga SLMs. In the materials that were given to them, nakalagay po itong nandito sa slide na to. How to take care of the module. Meron pong do's and don'ts na dapat ipabasa natin. Ipaalala natin sa ating mga learners that they need to read this before they use the SLMs or even the textbooks, kasi nandun din po ito. Hindi ko na po ito isa-isahin, but ang reminder ko lang po sa ating lahat, we require our learners to read this carefully and practice them so that mapatagal po natin yung usefulness ng mga learning resources natin. So yun po. Yun lang po yung paalala natin, so that the good condition of our learning resources will be maintained. At mas marami pa pong bata ang makagamit sa kanila. Next slide, please. Okay. So, I think I went ahead, no? Ito mga nandito sa slide nito ay some of the things I already mentioned, but tulad ng nabanggit ko kanina, the learning resources for distance learning are the reusable SLMs and other learning resources such as yung manuals, textbooks, worksheets, activity sheets, even those that are locally developed. Meron din po tayong DepEd TV, kung meron po ang mga bata na access to electricity, kasi alam ko in remote places there are no walang electricity, pwede na po namang gamitin yung mga lessons found in DepEd TV. Meron mga videos that are also available, and also radio lessons. I know that in many regions you have your own TV lessons and TV channels. Meron ako mga narinig na regions na meron or divisions na meron ganito eh. And then you also make videos that you share. Ewan ko, iba-iba ang pamamaraan eh. Through USB, teachers, they have different creative and innovative ways of doing this. And meron ding mga radio lessons. Alam ko merong local radio stations who are willing to give time slots to the department so that radio lessons can happen. Tapos, ayun nga, USBs or other similar data storage devices for storing digital learning resources for learners and teachers are also used, di ba, for distance learning. Kung meron ang bata na laptop or computer, pwedeng ilagay sa USB, pwede na niyang gamitin. Yan. And then, yan, binanggit ko, tablets, smartphones, speakers, yung megaphone ba? Meron daw mga ganong regions eh. I was listening to the education forum and I was amazed by the creativity of the regions. So merong mga naglalagay ng megaphone, may gumagamit ng two-way radio siguro para makontakt yung isa't isa, and other similar devices to support the use or the adoption of our learning delivery modality ngayon, which is distance learning. Next slide, please. Okay, Foresight na naman tayo. Balik sa Foresight. We realized that the close coordination with the ICTS or the Information and Communication Technology Service for digitization of the LRs, adoption of technology-based learning resources, and further planning for an efficient and effective learning management system is already ongoing and will still continue. Kasi importante ito eh. Sa ayaw natin at sa hindi, we really have to adapt with technology. We really have to adapt with the times. One of the blessings for me, one of the blessings of the pandemic, is I was forced to learn technology. Unti-unti, diba? Dati di natin alam ang MS Teams. Inorient tayo pero hindi tayo masyadong interesado or hindi natin masyadong ginagamit. Ngayon, naku, I'm sure most of us are using MS Teams, Zoom, ano pa ba, Google Meet. We have a lot of chat groups para makapag-usap. So technology is really important and it helps for us to closely coordinate, and we need our ICTS para doon sa yung provision ng mga SLMs and other learning resources can be digitized so that it will be easier for you teachers to use these materials and not depend on our printed learning resources. And then adoption of technology-based learning resources. Gusto natin interactive sana na yung mga learning resources natin. Kasi alam naman natin ang mga learners natin ngayon, di ba? Multiple intelligences ang talagang meron sila. Ayaw nila ng static na mga materials, ano? I got a feedback from one teacher saying that yung mga bata daw ay ayaw na masahin nung towards the end of the school year yung SLMs kasi nga pagod na sa pagbabasa. So if you can have more technology-based learning resources, use technology for education, not only for playing games like Mobile Legends, etc. No? If we can harness the power of technology for education, that will be very good. And we will need ICTS for that. Yun. So yun po yung yung isa sa mga foresights or what we're already doing it, but we will continue to do it because we acknowledge its value and importance for learning. We are moving towards the 21st century. We are teaching 21st century learners, millennials, who are more knowledgeable sa technology. Kailangan tayo mga teachers, we need to adapt to them so that they will learn faster and will learn more. Yon. And we will be mere facilitators of learning. They will be the ones creating learning among themselves. Yun ang sa akin ang vision siguro dapat natin. So next slide please. And this is the last slide. Second to the last slide kasi yung last slide ano na eh. So therefore, ang sabi ni Jenny Arledge, technology can become the wings that we allow the educational world to fly farther and faster than ever before, if we will allow it. So how will we allow it? We need to adapt to the changing times. We need to learn technology. We need to learn, find ways to engage and motivate our millennial students, pupils, so that the learning will become fun and enjoyable. So yun, yung last slide na po, ang aking message to everyone. Sabi ni Henry Ford, if everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. So we as a DepEd family, we have to really move as one. Sama-sama tayo, tulong-tulong. The bayanihan spirit needs to live on so that we will become successful in our goal of developing quality Filipino learners in the future. So thank you very much to everyone for listening. This is Daisy Asuncion Santos from the BLR Quality Assurance Division. Keep safe, everyone. God bless.
Thank you so much, Chief Daisy Asuncion Santos, for a concise and very informative presentation. And despite the challenges that we have encountered in the department, we have never stopped finding ways to ensure access, relevant, and quality learning resources under the guidance of the lead bureau, the Bureau of Learning Resources. So once again, thank you so much, Chief Daisy. Then just keep on sharing your insights here in DepEd Teaches comment section. Also on your social media accounts like your Facebook personal page and Twitter account. Don't forget to use the hashtag ISupportDepEdTeaches, and hashtag DepEd Teaches episode 35.
To all our loyal viewers who consistently watch and support every episode here in DepEd Teaches, don't forget to register. And our evaluation will be given on the last week of September.
So this now concludes our another episode. On behalf of the Curriculum and Instruction Strand, thank you so much for joining us in another meaningful episode exclusive here in DepEd Teaches. For our mission is empowering teachers, enabling learners. We'll see us again next week. Good day, everyone.